Hi everyone, hope you all are doing well. So if we click on any of the authors' profiles, we need to actually view their profile with all their posts. Right, so let's get started. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open our AuthorController. So as you can see, we're receiving the author via route rule binding right here. Okay, so then we have to pass in to the view. We need to pass the author. So we're just going to create an author variable. And we're going to set that to the user. And the next thing what we want to do is we want to get basically all the posts of this author. All right, so let's do that. So what we want to do, we want to get the posts where, all right, the author ID. So let's just quickly open our post model so people can understand. So let's go to our post table actually. So as you can see, by default, we have an author ID for the authors right here. So we're going to check where the author ID is equal to the current user's ID. Right, so let's do that. So we're going to check where the author ID is equal to this ID, like that. Okay, and then what we want to do is we want to paginate that. So paginate. And I'm going to set it by default to 4, right? You can obviously do more, but I'm just going to set it to that so that we can actually view the pagination, right? So just make sure you bring in your post model. So as you can see, I got my post model, I got my user model in here for that, right? Otherwise, we're going to get an error. Right, so let's go to the view. All right, the view, if you're using the template, you go to pages, authors.show, this one right here. Okay, so let's start off with the first thing, the author's name right here. Okay, let me just actually remove this. All right, the author's name, we're just going to add the author name like this. Okay, just like that. The next thing is we want to display how many posts. Okay, so let's just do that. So we're just going to add a count and we're just going to add the post like that. All right, the next thing is for the socials right here. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to write an if statement again. So if, all right, and we just want to check if it's not empty. And we just want to get the author's basically Facebook profile. All right, so if that is not empty, let me just remove this. And I'm just going to move this one in there. All right, so if that's not empty, I'm just going to add Facebook like this. And I'm going to do that the same for the rest, but I just want to add the URL in there as well, so that they can be able to just to click to it. And this must be the method, not a property. Right, so I'm just quickly going to do that for the rest as well. Right, so that's all in right now. So we got the one with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. If you have a better way to do it, you can by all means do that. Right, so that's our post right there. So that's the count. The next thing we want to do is we want to actually bring in the author's name right here. So we're just going to get the author's name. All right. So let me just delete this. So we're just going to put the author's name in there. I'm just going to give it some room like this. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to loop over all the posts. We're going to delete this one. All right, and what I want to do is I want to use the same one, the same single post that we used for the front end, for the home page actually. So if we go to resources, views, pages, the home one, .index, as you can see, we use the Livewire latest post, and in that we got under components post latest, this one right here. So I'm going to use this component right here because I want to check also if the post is premium, all that kind of stuff. I want to be able to show it. Okay, so let's quickly do that. So I'm going to delete this as well, and I'm just going to add for each loop. Just quickly do that. So add for each. And we're going to do a post as post, right? And I'm going to put the single post up there, and I'm going to reference that latest post. So post variable, so xpost dot latest. I think it's the right one. And then we just pass the post variable like this. So post equals to post. Right, so that way we don't have to type in anything. We can use the same one right there. Okay, so as you can see, it receives the post and will show the different posts with the images, so we don't have to recode all of this stuff. Okay, awesome stuff. So let's quickly go here and the show view. Okay, so that's basically the container right there. The next thing we do is we're going to create a div. I'm going to make it gray. Let's say BG gray. Let's say 200. And I'm just going to give it some padding of 2. Right, and we're going to write an if statement. So if, right, and the condition is basically the post has pages. All right. So what that's going to do is going to check if there's any links. Okay, and then we want to display this right here. So we're just going to render. So post links like this, or you can do the render like this. Okay, both ways work. And I'm just going to stick with links. So if someone looks at the code right here, they will understand it's the links. All right, so as you can see, we're showing 4 posts. This is wrong. This needs to be 8. I will fix that in a second. I'll show you guys how. So as you can see, we got all the posts of Michelle Jones right here. Now, the next thing, as you can see, we got the pagination as well. So I don't like the styling. I'm just going to add some more styling to it. So if we go to page 2, as you can see, we're still on Michelle Jones's page with all the social links right there. Okay, so everything works. So I'm just going to add some more padding. I'm going to update my total. So this is a bit wrong because this total is just if we don't use pagination. So what it does, it checks on the pagination, and I want to just get the total post. Right, so let's quickly do that. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the count, and what I'm going to do is we just to add the post total. So use this for if you use pagination. Right, I forgot to add that right there. Okay, so anyway, it's a good thing so that you guys can learn something new. Right, so if we go down, I'm just going to add some padding of 4 and margin bottom of, let's say, 20, just like that. Right, so as you can see, we got 8 posts right there, so everything is good. Right, so let's move down. Right, so we see the pagination as well, so everything works quite nicely. All right, so I'm just going to add the profile bio in here as well. So let's quickly do that. Right, let me quickly add, this is just for the bio. So let me just quickly add bio like this. And I'm just going to create a div. Inside the div, I'm just going to add a paragraph. And the paragraph is just going to be the author's. Okay, so the author's bio. Okay, so let's quickly, actually profile. We can actually do this. We did bio profile. All right, just like that. Okay, so you can obviously add any styling you want, but everything works good. All right, the next thing that we have a problem with is the image, because this is not updating. So we're just going to add the image of the author. So just the author profile photo bar. All right, we can obviously create a method for this, but for now, if you want to, you guys can. I'm just going to add here profile image. Profile image. Right, that's it. Just change this to from path to URL, my bad. Okay, so let's quickly see. All right, so we got the image right there. So let's go to one of the other authors. Hopefully everything works well. So let's go to David Rogue. As you can see, we got this image when we got all their posts as well. Awesome stuff. So the next thing I want to do, as you can see, we don't update the profile photo of the person inside the post view right there. So let's quickly do that. All right, so let's go to the latest post. Right, so this is the tags. This is to check if it's premium or not. And let's go to the author's page right here. And we just want to delete this. Okay, like that. And we just want to go to the author profile photo. like that. Okay, so we can put just the author's name in here. So let me just do that. So author name. Awesome stuff. This needs to change to post author. Let me just copy this and just paste it for these two like that. All right, so now as you can see, the image updated right there. So let's quickly go to the home page. So as you can see, the admin user doesn't have a profile image. That's just all good. So it just kind of shows the default. Well, fine, let's go to the new one. The loading happens right there. Admin user has 8 posts. I need to get the post in random because they're getting the post in order of the author's name. So as you can see, Michelle's post right there and here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to update this to actually get all the posts in random order right here, not in the author's, basically how we seeded the database. All right, so what I'm going to do is we're just going to quickly update our Livewire component. So under Livewire Home, latest, this one right here. So as you can see, we call on the latest post scope. So I'm just going to go to my post model, and inside my post model, I'm going to update that scope quickly. So the latest right there, as you can see, scope latest post. So what I'm going to do, instead of the latest, I'm just going to get them in random order. Okay, just like that. You can decide, obviously, however you guys want to do things. Totally up to you. I just want to get them in random order and paginate whatever comes there. Okay, so otherwise it's just going to be the admin, then the different author. Not a good user experience. Right, so as you can see right now, Jane Doe's post is there, Michelle Jones' post is here, the admin right now, and David. Right, so everything is quite nicely in random order, so everything works quite lovely. Right, thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you have any questions, feedback, or suggestions, please leave it with me in the comment section. And I don't even think the in random order works that well, but anyways, that works for me for now. Thank you guys. See you in the next one, and adios.